The mayoral election in Metro is almost here, and that means you're probably getting hammered with phone calls and stuff in your mailbox. It's messed up.
Carl Dean.
David Briley.
I'm Bob Clement.
I'm Howard Gentry.
Dean, Buck Dozier, Carl Dean, Nancy Barr.
And ask them to please stop calling me.
Is a Metro voter who says political calls
Take me off their list.
are messed up.
Okay.
And that's the problem. That's what's messed up. Everybody's calling. They're wasting time.
Mayor.
Mayor. For mayor.
He's interrupting my time.
The vision Nashville deserves.
And I believe
I can do it.
It is messed up.
You're hello, Mr. Voter, vote for me. They don't want that. It doesn't work. People are getting upset. Cut it out.
I'm on the do not call registry, and I wish politicians could appreciate that.
Who should be our next mayor?
Well, not surprisingly, politicians exempted themselves from the rules they imposed on others because they still want to be able to reach the voters.
Hey, who are you going to vote for? You going to vote for Buck Dozier? You going to vote for Carl Dean?
So while businesses can't call you at home unsolicited, they can.
That's messed up. It is bothersome.
This is an automated call from the Briley camp.
And I hope you will consider voting for David on August 2nd.
That is messed up. You're interrupting my dinner.
Only one candidate for mayor.
Hey, this is Andy Cordan with Channel 2 News. I was calling Buck Dozier's people. Is this Buck Dozier's people? I decided to give a few of the candidates a taste of their own medicine. I want you to watch That's Messed Up. I'm calling to get your support, man. We need all the help we can get.
Why are you doing this?
Apparently, Carl Dean likes to call you. Let's call him. Dean's people tell me the candidate will get back to me. When he doesn't, I make an unannounced visit to their headquarters on West End. Hey, Carl Dean people, how you doing? Andy Cordan, That's Messed Up. I want you guys to start watching now. Do you guys watch?
All the time.
We want to talk about unsolicited phone calls to folks. I know I caught you at lunch and I didn't call, but you know how it is. You were busy, you were eating. It's terrible, isn't it?
Yeah, sorry. Hang on just a second. I think we were just I was gonna give you a call here in just a little while, actually. I think we decided not to have him talk to you about this particular story, but I will tell you that our grassroots efforts are going really great.
You know, you can see where people might get a little irritated, right? Can you see it? Can you see it?
Sure.
Here's what's messed up. This is a public sidewalk in Nashville. I want to get along the road. Here come the cars. I got to literally sprint, hope this car doesn't hit me. Then I got to jump back up in here. And you know what? That is totally messed up. Fix this sidewalk. No matter what your water bill is here in Metro, if you don't pay it on time, you're going to owe $10. And a lot of people say that is just messed up. Ron Reed is a Metro Water customer.
Lending, financing, and collections.
For most of his life, the 60-year-old has worked in finance. Numbers was your thing.
That's right.
Reed says he always pays his water bill on time. Loan sharks aren't getting that kind of money.
Oh, no.
But paying on time is not so easy for many water customers nowadays. And that extra $10 hurts.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And they don't know it.
After 15 days, Metro Water assesses customers a flat $10 late fee. You have a $28 bill, and if you're late, it's $10 tacked on. So now suddenly, boom, $38. Is that usurious?
Oh, absolutely.
To prove his point, the financial expert pulls out his calculator.
We don't know the rate, so we'll leave that as the unknown.
Taking Messed Up on a numerical journey through a little financial formula known as I equals PRT. It's an equation to figure out what the annual percentage rate would be on his $28 bill if he were assessed Metro's automatic $10 late fee.
If you go through and figure this,
Reed comes up with a number. It's mind-boggling.
982.3%.
That's right, 982% APR.
It's your government doing this to you.
When you look at 982%, it makes loan sharking seem like they're nice. I mean, Metro's like loan sharks. Emily Evans is Ron Reed's councilwoman. So the late fee generates $4 million?
Yes, and it actually is going to be higher than that.
Like Mr. Reed, Councilwoman Evans knows a thing or two about finance. I equals P times R times T. It's not unfamiliar to you. That's basic stuff, right?
That's our interest rates calculations, yes.
Evans doesn't dispute Mr. Reed's math. She says the percentage only seems egregiously high because the water rates in Metro have remained so low.
This was one of the options that was available in lieu of a rate increase last year and the year before.
Evans says she realizes a $10 late fee is tough on some families. The people that are late are probably the people in trouble, and it's almost like piling on the people that are already in a kind of a bad financial way, wouldn't you think?
Well, and I agree.
But the mayor and city council signed off on it because it was a better option than raising water rates across the board.
Council, is looking at it. We hear you. We know it's a problem. It is messed up. It's got to be fixed. We're looking at ways to fix it.
A spokeswoman for the Metro Water Department writes in part, water rates in Nashville have not increased in many years. In fact, in 1999, the city actually lowered residential water rates by some 25%. Now, to balance this year's budget, they evaluated asking everyone to pay more for water or ask just those who make costs higher for everyone to pay a higher share, meaning those who pay late. Well, they chose this option because it keeps costs down for most customers. What do you think? Go to the website, thatismessedup.com. The Robertson County Sheriff's Department's been to this man's house at least a half dozen times, and they keep asking for a guy that does not live here. This man says that is messed up.
I respect what they do.
Corey Allgood is sick of it.
I'm not trying to cause a problem. I just want them to find this gentleman, leave us alone.
His wife Alicia says enough already. Did you call that number and say, I don't know Jonathan Watts?
Absolutely.
A year ago, the Allgoods and their 2 baby sons moved into this Greenbrier house. Almost immediately, the knocks on the door began.
Mama, the sheriff, the police, they're all at my door again.
So did these civil warrants from the Robertson County Sheriff's Department. Does this just seem like ineptitude to you?
It does. I mean, I just can't get it to quit.
These notices and the knocks on the door are all focused on one man. His name, Jonathan Watts.
For Jonathan Watts.
Jonathan Watts,
Jonathan Watts.
who once lived in this house before the Allgoods purchased it. So Jonathan Watts, who's that?
Don't know.
The Allgoods tell Messed Up they've called the court. You keep saying he doesn't live here, they don't believe you.
Right.
Gone down to the sheriff's office.
What are my neighbors gonna think?
The Allgoods have spoken to deputies who knock on the door.
They don't believe me, or he's hiding in the basement, exactly.
This is to the point of harassment. Please leave us alone. We've told you. We've put ourselves out there, written letters, and talked to people. And they say they're going to take care of it. And you're still showing up at my door.
Turns out he doesn't live there anymore. He used to live there. Yes, the information used to be good. He no longer lives there. Now it's a little family with some babies. They live in the house. Guess what? Stop knocking on the door.
We're not harassing anybody. The officer's trying to serve the warrant.
Captain P.R. West is in charge of the warrants division.
I don't have any records on this particular warrant that she's called and changed anything.
On the back of the warrant, deputies list when they visit the Allgood house looking for Mr. Watts. The last notation is April 9th, where a deputy is written, no longer at this address. So they got their paperwork, you got your own. Corey Allgood tells me that just 2 days after this entry, a Robertson County deputy comes to his home on April 11th, and the very next day on April 12th.
I don't have anything on here on 412.
So we got a bit of a mystery. Like left hand, right hand here.
Jonathan Watts does not live at my home in Greenbrier, Tennessee. Please leave us alone.
So basically, hey, Sheriff, go look somewhere else. He doesn't live there. Is that it?
That's exactly right. Quit waking up my kids.
Hey, Jonathan, if you're watching, turn yourself in. Leave her alone. She doesn't need your problems, right?
Exactly.
Because it's highly possible that the court will eventually issue another warrant for Jonathan Watts, I urge Captain West to red flag this address, and he tells me that he has. And the Allgoods should have received the last ever knock on the door for a Mr. Jonathan Watts, just helping people one messed up story at a time. Go to the website, thatismessedup.com. This kid's taking a guitar class and they don't even have guitars. That's messed up. Josh Hood is a 15-year-old Whites Creek High School sophomore.
I wanted to learn how to play the guitar.
For the last 10 months, Josh has been taking a guitar class. What kind of guitar class is it without a guitar, right?
We had to do a whole bunch of worksheets and stuff.
I asked Josh to show me one of the easiest notes on the guitar. Show me an A. Put your fingers where an A should be. Quick, pop quiz, baby. Where would you put it?
I don't know.
You don't know? Why not?
Because we don't have a guitar to know how to do it.
Josh's mom and dad say this situation is totally messed up.
If it's not in the budget and you can't afford it, then you shouldn't offer it.
Get some guitars or don't offer the class.
This is Music City. There are guitars everywhere. They're 10 feet tall on the side of the street. Guitars dot the landscape. From the Hard Rock Cafe to Tootsie's Lounge to statues downtown. You're telling me we can't get guitars for kids in a guitar class?
That is messed up.
Ryan Adams teaches the Fine Arts program at Whites Creek High School.
Our problem pretty much is that we just don't have guitars or the funding for the program that we just started this year.
Like his 26 students. Adams is frustrated that so far, the only guitar in his guitar class belongs to him. This is what I've been screaming at the moon, man. This is Music City, and you can't even get guitars in guitar class. That's messed up.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, a lot of my kids came into the class not really that interested in it, but they've started to build up this interest through what we've been doing. Every day they come in, they're just, Mr. Adams, do we get guitars yet? When are we getting our guitars? Like, they're just chomping at the bit to get at this.
For 10 weeks, Adams says the students have studied music history and music appreciation.
They're learning classical theory. And
Now Adams says the kids want to jam.
something magical is sitting in front of them. You know, it's like so few of them have had experience with musical instruments that they just have this awe about the instrument.
Metro school officials tell me they too are working to raise money to get guitars into students' hands. But that might not happen till sometime in November. Seems like in the immediate next week, you would appreciate some decent guitars for kids to learn on.
Absolutely.
26 or 10 or even one would be helpful.
It would. It really would. Like anything that we could get right now.
Okay, here's the deal. A not-for-profit called Little Kids Rock, well, they promised the class 10 guitars. From what I've learned, this is a can-do organization that has supplied more than 5,000 instruments to kids around the country just in the last year. Unfortunately for everyone, the economy, well, it took a nosedive. Money Little Kids Rock counted on for guitars, it dried up. Nonetheless, the founder tells me Whites Creek will get guitars. The question is when? So here's the challenge, Music City. Do you have a guitar and do you feel charitable? Go to my website and find out how you can help. While driving down Franklin Road,
I was just grateful that I was in my old truck instead of the convertible that day.
Chip Throckmorton says,
Yeah, I was startled.
a rock falls from this bridge,
This one right here.
striking his windshield.
I mean, anybody can look at this and tell that it needs a net or a screen or a tarp or something.
Obviously, safety is important to you, and you feel like it's safe.
Yes, we do.
BJ Dowdy works for TDOT.
We require our contractors to take every measure possible to keep the traveling public safe in their work sites.
According to Dowdy, while ripping up the roadway, the contractor takes great care to minimize falling debris, including shutting down traffic and erecting solid barriers.
We don't want rocks falling on anybody as they're traveling through here, and neither does the contractor.
It doesn't matter whether they're working up there or not. The concrete's sticking out, it's loose. We're about to get all this bad weather tonight, all the rain and wind. It's going to wash more stuff off of there.
I go on top of the bridge. Guess, how hard was that to fall off, No net, so rocks this size right here. Look at that. Look at the size of that rock, folks. This rock falling on the windshield of this truck, would that make your driving a little more difficult? Do we need a net? Do we need a net? You tell me. Look at this. Look at this. How hard would it be? How hard would this be to fall on cars? I don't see any protection. I see nothing here that's going to keep rocks and debris and big chunks from falling 25 to 30 feet on top of a car. The question is, would a tarp prevent this? Throckmorton says, of course it would.
Anybody with any common sense can look at this and tell that it needs to have either a tarp or a screen or a net or something.
BJ Dowdy with TDOT says a tarp is not the answer.
We appreciate his concern, but frankly, there are other safety measures in place besides a tarp.
According to TDOT, there are several problems with a tarp. It could break. It could be difficult to secure. It could create a clearance problem should it sag. I can see rock after rock after rock, and it's just basically balancing there, hoping that the wind doesn't blow, the bridge doesn't shake. It's just up there like a crapshoot, rolling the dice. Quick, get underneath the bridge. Oh, you're okay, you're safe. That is kind of what we're talking about. You don't know when a rock could fall.
No, you don't. As an attorney, I can't believe the contractor that's doing this, I can't believe their insurance company lets them get away with it.
The $3.2 million project began in late March, and I'm told it will be done in September. Dowdy says this is the only complaint that has been reported so far. Still, they tell me that they take all concerns seriously and they welcome your calls. More on the website, thatismessedup.com. This woman says she's had 8 mailboxes destroyed in the last few years, and you know what? She says it's messed up. If this mailbox could talk, what would it say?
I'm sick and tired of being hit.
When it comes to mailbox bashing,
It can get expensive.
Della Malloy is fed up.
What's the point of keep replacing it if they're going to keep tearing it down?
How many times has this mailbox said, "Help me, You're killing me! How many times did that happen?
8 times.
8 times. When her mailbox was destroyed,
That's a dangerous person that would hit a defenseless mailbox.
the Rutherford County woman replaces it with this shiny new mailbox,
Enough's enough.
which vandals also destroy.
Some of them are just so pitiful you can't even hardly open them.
After 8 mailboxes, did you report this to Johnny Lawman?
Nah, I didn't report. I reported it to you.
Della Malloy calls that's messed up. Why'd you call me?
Because I feel like that it's time the mailbox had someone to stand up for it. Because we've had about 15 or 20
Andy,
of them.
I need help. Help me. No one's an advocate for mailboxes
They're
like
not.
they should be. Malloy can't prove it, but she thinks she knows who the culprits are.
The police ever catch them, I understand it's a federal offense. They'll do some time.
It's an easy deduction to make when you see how many videos online are dedicated to the act of mailboxing. Video after video shows teens laughing, driving around, videotaping themselves as they smash mailboxes with bats and sledgehammers. We drive through Malloy's neighborhood, which looks like it's been visited by these video vandals. We find mailbox after mailbox that's either dented or ready to topple over. Solid metal encasing a mailbox. That's how bad the problem is here. This is what people have to do to protect their mailboxes.
They could take a baseball bat and...
Replacing mailboxes and the posts they rest on can be expensive. Replacing them 8 times? That's just messed up.
This mailbox right here, my mail got wet. I had to put it in a plastic bag. I had to look out there every day and hope that the mail wasn't just going to slide on out and go down the road, but I refused to replace it.
What do you think this old mailbox would say to the new mailbox?
You'll get yours one day.
According to the U.S. Postal Service, it's a federal crime to destroy a mailbox. People who have been caught have been severely punished. How badly? Well, up to $250,000 or federal prison for up to 3 years for each violation. Postal officials tell me they love prosecuting you guys. Keep that in mind, mailbox bashers.
Approximately 10 o'clock every Saturday morning, you're going to hear a race car start up.
Rodney Bartholomew has lived in this Hermitage home for close to 12 years.
There can be a jet flying over this house, and the noise from that car will cover that jet up.
Now sick with throat cancer, Pat Abel has lived here 33 years.
I've asked him 3 or 4 times to stop and he won't do it.
Most days here are tranquil.
We actually had Metro up here for the 100th time.
But come Saturday mornings,
real bad.
Just like clockwork. The men say the calm is shattered. You're listening to the repeated revving of a high-octane engine parked behind their homes.
My kids can be out here playing baseball. The race car starts up, they'll drop their bats and run in the house.
Why?
Because they can't stand the noise.
Unreal. It sounds like you're at the Indianapolis 500.
Sounds like the Indianapolis 500? Yep. Mr. Abel captured the noise from his backyard. Mr. Bartholomew shot this video Saturday morning, May 3rd. The time is 10:20 a.m.
There you go. Down the road.
Bartholomew says he's complained to Metro authorities countless times.
If this guy was playing his radio real loud, they could go cite him, but they can't cite him for that. We shouldn't have to put up a noise like that in this neighborhood.
I thought I'd come over and get your side of the story. Messed up cameras go to the source, where the brightly painted demolition racer is parked on a trailer in the driveway.
It don't bother me, you know. If they don't like them, they can buy me out, big guy.
The race car is owned by Carl Taylor. You realize it's pretty loud.
And I had the police out here listening to it last Saturday, and the police says that I wasn't bothering a soul out here midday Saturday.
Right.
I've got motorcycles that run up and down this road louder than that car.
To prove it,
do you want to hear it run?
Sure. The 43-year-old cranks his race car up.
You tell me you don't hear Harley Davidson motorcycles louder than that right there? And you can put this on the news. This is my hobby. Me and my son's been doing it for 15 years, and I'm not going to stop.
It's frustrating.
I tell you, I wish the neighbors mind their own business.
Extremely messed up.
You seem a little angry. Are you angry that your neighbors have called the news?
Well, I'm not angry. It don't bother me. Yeah, I'm angry because that man back there calls everybody. He ain't got nothing else better to do.
Metro Police tell me that neighbors have been complaining about the race car for more than a decade, and police say if he was blasting a loud radio, they could cite Mr. Taylor. But Metro law does not really address loud engine noise. But Metro codes do, and they looked at this problem from a storage issue, and they cited Mr. Taylor for keeping an unlicensed car in a driveway, even on a trailer. Officials say he now has 15 days to move the race car into a garage or barn, or he'll be cited into court. More on the website, thatismessedup.com. When completed, the single-family home being constructed behind me will be more than 10,000 square feet and more than 70 feet high. Residents here say that is messed up. Drive around Love Circle. What's the square footage of your house?
About 1,500.
And this is what you will soon encounter.
I think it's kind of crazy.
A crane rising into the sky.
Blocks the view from the public park.
A normally quiet neighborhood filled with a cacophony of power tools.
It's always a balance between people have the freedom to do what they want and, what is reasonable and what isn't.
You're looking at the early phase of construction for a home that has been nicknamed Villa Rich.
I think the architecture doesn't match the area.
This is an artist's rendering of what the single-family dwelling will look like when it's completed.
It's 4 or 5 times the size of anything here.
When done, published reports indicate the structure will stand 73 feet tall. And essentially, it's going to be like a gigantic Mr. Coffee Maker up here. And the capacious home will be a museum-like, 11,000 square feet in size. That's kind of the avant-garde Love Circle. I mean, let it rip, man. 70 feet in the air will just, sow the sun it out a couple times a day.
But I just don't think this is a place for it.
Jeff Lane lives on Love Circle.
If you drive around the circle now, you think it just looks like a menagerie of people did whatever they want with absolutely no control.
Nobody builds a gigantic coffee pot house in Nashville without a lot of people scrutinizing it. Prior to all this, there has been no laws broken here. The Metro Codes Department closely evaluated Villa Rich, which was ultimately given the green light because the project violated no building codes. But you can understand where Mrs. Johnson down the street goes, wow, where'd the sun go,
Well, it is a very unique house. There's no question about that. It is a unique house that is different than other houses there. But again, it's within his rights to build, so it's not our responsibility or even right to stop him from that.
Because of this home, the city subsequently reevaluated its laws, now including very specific language requiring a home not to exceed 3 stories or stand taller than 45 feet. At some point, you're just going to have this shadow creep across the neighborhood on Love Circle.
I mean, the height is just way too much. The architecture doesn't match. It doesn't fit in with any of the neighborhood at all.
Publicist for Mr. Rich declined to comment for my story, but in a March 2007 interview with GAC-TV, Rich said it's going to be a Nashville landmark when it's done, without a doubt. It's going to be one of those places that people drive by and take pictures of. Rich also tells the publication his home will increase property values for the entire neighborhood. What do you think? Go to my website, thatismessedup.com. He's going to graduate the same day he has to be in court. He could miss his graduation. He says that's messed up.
Let me graduate. Let me graduate. Let me graduate.
Alan Baker is 18 years old.
I'm ready to get out of here.
The Springfield High School senior is scheduled to graduate on May 22nd.
I'm already done with all my tests.
Alan's father, Bruce, has sent out the invitations.
And here's the graduation announcements. Lord knows how much we spent on these.
Family members, well, they're coming from all over the country.
10 people coming from Pennsylvania. A grandmother, uncle, 4 cousins coming, all their kids.
The graduation picture is taken. The cap and gown are ready. Well, how would this be if he doesn't even show up for his own graduation? People are coming from all over the country.
It'd be terrible.
The Bakers' graduation plans are suddenly in jeopardy, however, because of this Robertson County subpoena. Uh-oh, red flags go off in Daddy's head, right?
I'm like, oh, no.
Which orders Alan to testify in court just a few hours before commencement exercises are scheduled to begin.
He did the wrong thing, I did the right thing, and...
Who's getting penalized?
Me.
Alan has been ordered to court because weeks earlier, he witnessed another student allegedly trying to sell a stolen car stereo at school. Alan did the right thing and told the police. And it's almost as if the system's going to penalize him because he did the right thing and he might miss one of the biggest days in his life.
That's the way I feel. I'm like, okay, I can take care of this. I'll call up, juvenile court. We'll get this fixed. It shouldn't be a problem. So I make a phone call and somebody's supposed to call me back. Nobody calls me back.
Court's unpredictable. It's hard to say when things are going to transpire. Is that the problem? You don't know how long it's going to take, and meanwhile the clock's going tick, tick, tick.
I said, you've been served a subpoena. If we can't get out of this, you're going to have to sit in court and miss graduation if that's what it comes to. I said it's the right thing to do.
At this point in the story, it's unclear whether Alan will get to graduate with his class. So at our urging, he dons the cap and gown and graduates across the much larger stage of That Is Messed Up.
Thank you very much. Get out of my house.
From here, we go to the Robertson County Prosecutor's Office for some answers. They direct us to the big boss in the 19th District, District Attorney General John Carney. John needs to step in and get involved. Tell John to call Andy Cordan at Channel 2 News. By phone, Carney tells me that he's reviewed the case and will reschedule Alan Baker's testimony for a later date.
Are you serious?
Here's Mr. Baker's reaction upon receiving that good news.
Amazing. Thank you very much. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. I mean, because nothing was happening. I had given up. You were my last hope.
When I asked him about the case, DA John Carney told me that the defense attorney probably needed more time to try the case, so it probably would have been continued anyway. But in the DA's own words, it was the right thing to do, adding, if it was my kid, I would expect the same treatment. Go to the website, thatismessedup.com.